Hi everyone, I'm Chad Helmlinger, a product marketing manager here at ZoomInfo's Engage. Sales professionals, whether they're SDRs, account managers, or account executives, they're pressed for time. They're juggling so many different tasks, and they're trying to integrate across multiple tech stacks. With one integrated experience, we think that ZoomInfo's Engage could help solve three main pain points: automation, custom content messaging at scale, and managing your tasks more effectively and efficiently. So let's dive into, in those types of roles, how ZoomInfo's Engage can help. I want to provide you with pro tip number one, and that is going to be automating my prospecting efforts. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to use ZoomInfo's Sales OS to build out a list of prospects. From here, I'm going to need to save and subscribe to this list so that it's dynamic, meaning that it's searching for new contacts all the time and adjusting my list accordingly. So here, let's go ahead and call this my prospecting list for Q2 2022. And I'm going to hit save. Now that I've built out that list, ZoomInfo's Engage is going to allow me to automate that process. I'm going to go here to New, Import Contacts, and I'm going to choose Sales OS. From here, you'll see that save search that I just saved. I'm going to hit Next. And from this screen, I want to highlight a couple things. If I scroll down, I want to set up this future auto sync, where it's looking for net new contacts on my behalf on either a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I'm going to choose daily. In addition, ZoomInfo's Engage for all users is going to have our Never Bounce system that's going to check and verify email addresses and remove any invalid emails, increasing my deliverability and reducing my bounce backs. That can be one of the most frustrating things as a sales rep, is that you spent all of this time prospecting, researching, building great lists of ideal contacts and buying committees, and then to find out that 20-30% of them were invalid emails. Let's go ahead and click on Next. From here, I want to not only import them via this automation, but I want to add them to a sales flow. And we're going to dive into sales flows a little bit more in just a minute, but sales flows are those multi-step, multi-channel sequences that are going to be combos of emails and calls and other tasks like text messaging, or even things like LinkedIn connections or in-mail messages. I can set up this on behalf of my manager, maybe a VP at my organization, if I think that's going to resonate with prospects more. And I can even select that sales flow directly from this drop-down menu. So I've built this out, my top prospects one for 2022, and I'm going to go ahead and import and add to a sales flow. My actions are done. That prospected list is going to be alive. It means it's going to dynamically adjust and add more contacts directly through automation from ZoomInfo Sales OS, import them into Engage, and add them into that first step and then subsequent steps of that sales flow. My job's done. I can sit back and book more meetings. Now, the other piece about that I want to highlight here before we move on to tip number two is that I can set up unlimited of those, right? Which is really going to be nice and customized based on maybe the persona that I'm going after, for example. So maybe I have one sales flow that's specific to VPs versus people in different departments or managers or directors, because I think that messaging needs to be adjusted so that it really looks like it's custom, but also it's happening at scale. That kind of perfectly segues into tip number two, which is how to create not just good content, but take it and elevate it from good to great. Under content section here, you'll see templates and sales flows. I'm going to start with templates. Simply go to New Template. You have the option to create one from scratch. Use an existing template from one of your colleagues or one that you've made previously and make edits to it. But I like to get up to speed quickly, so I'm going to use the pre-made email templates in Engage's library. I'm going to go in here into the prospecting category. I'm going to find one that I like. I like this maybe 3 value props with calendar link. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate and edit it. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, this is my editing screen. I'll need to go ahead and update this information with some of my value props, what pain points we solve for with my products and solutions and services that I provide. I can even add additional mail merge variables, like here where it says insert calendar link. I can simply click variables, my calendar link, and I've just taken care of that piece. I can even do things like add images. I can change the formatting, the text, the color, add attachments, etc. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a nice preview and an email assistant. Let's talk about those briefly. Preview is fantastic. This is so important. It's showing me across desktops, tablets, and phones what my email template's going to look like. That's important. 50% or more of our prospects are probably going to be viewing your email on a mobile device. So we're going to make sure that the formatting of that looks nice, and I can easily visually see that here on the right-hand side. Email Assistant is also great. It's checking for things like a readability score, any kind of long words, capitalization. It's telling me if what my reading time is and providing me some industry best practices, such as let's try to keep it under 30 seconds. In addition, it's going to give me things like, hey, you didn't ask too many questions, or you didn't ask any questions in the subject line, which is good. It's green, but maybe your subject length is just over that 25 characters and we need to shorten that. In my case, I'm okay. Under sales practices, it's also going to tell me about question usage. We need at least 1 to 3 of those. And then that you focus language is one of my favorites. It's kind of giving you that ratio of how many times you used words relevant to I versus me versus you. It really should be all about your recipients. So I'm going to go ahead and save this template, and I can use that later. But now let's leverage sales flows. We've talked a lot about those a little bit already, but let's dive a little deeper. So again, this is a list of sales flows. I love these because I have the nice metrics at a quick glance here on the right-hand side. You'll notice we have some down here that I've previously sent out to recipients. So I'm going to start to see open rates, reply rates, etc. Really find ways to leverage what is resonating with my prospects and what isn't. So now let's go into content sales flows. Same process, we can leverage new sales flows here. We can go right into Engage's library of sales flows that I think are super helpful. I like these generic ones. I'm going to start there. I have this new prospect list. It's got about 9 steps over 7 days. I can duplicate this and get started. Again, it's starting out and building out that nice framework for me that's really going to help me get up to speed very quickly with building one of these out and getting my prospects into them immediately. Now, a couple things to note on this settings page. If we want to allow prospects to be in multiple sales flows, we'll want to check this box. I love the options down here also for out of office replies, where it'll just automatically pause for us and resume in a few days. We can also decide how contacts or prospects will exit or be removed from a sales flow. Is it just when they reply, or is it when they click on any links that we've put in there? Could be based on also how we log a call result or sentiment. So I'm going to duplicate this. And you'll notice when I click on that option, I'm going to immediately have access to the contacts that I've put in here. I can go into the steps and stats, and I can see those analytics of open rates, reply rates, click-through rates, the stuff that matters to me. I can also click and drag these steps and move them into different orders, as you see that I'm doing now. And I can even edit the time frequency between them. So you'll notice here in this column, you're seeing like 30 minutes, 2 days, 1 day. If I want to spread this out a little bit more so that I can manage these tasks like phone calls and emails, this would be a great opportunity to do that. And then even within any auto step, wanted to point out we have the ability also to leverage some A/B testing, which is also going to help you see what's resonating with your prospects. You can replicate your successes and kind of make tweaks and iterations as you go, instead of having to start all over with a new sales flow. I think you're going to really like those couple tips regarding sales flows and how to really take your content from maybe good to great. What I did want to quickly show you here before we move on to our next step is what that would look like when you do add prospects in. I love the ability to, once they're in here, I'm going to see the date that I need to complete any kind of manual step. I'm going to see if there's what date they're scheduled for an auto step. I can even use these quick filters to quickly prioritize my list and start calling or emailing folks that have clicked links previously or opened my email, and use that to really jumpstart great conversations or great email messages as follow-ups. So that wraps up tip number 2. Tip number 3 is now how do I take action on all of these tasks that are going to be created for me that are part of these sales flows. I don't want any prospects to fall through the cracks. So you'll notice today I have 51 tasks to complete. That seems like quite a bit. I must have been slacking off today, but let's go ahead and hop into the filters. You'll notice here, we got a combo of emails, some phone call icons here of tasks. They're kind of all mixed up here. So I'm gonna first suggest you come into task type and kind of sort or lump together, let's say all your call tasks. Got about 18 of those that I need to complete. I can simply select all of them and hit this engage button. Love this feature because it's gonna allow me to set up an auto dialer. It's gonna let me see any previous activity and engagement, like have I made any previous calls with this contact? Do I have any other tasks scheduled in the future with them? So that will help drive, like, do I leave a voicemail here? Do I call not only their direct dial, but maybe I follow up by calling their mobile phone as well? Or do I create a follow-up task? And this way I can just easily just move through contacts here. Each time it's gonna serve me up that next contact's information and any previous activity that you see here. Going back, I'm gonna exit out of the calls. I'm gonna go back to filters and I'm gonna try emails now. For emails or calls, I can also prioritize those for anybody clicked any links on those emails? No? How about opened any emails? Okay, so why don't I start with these three, creating some nice custom messaging for them that's specific to folks that have opened my emails but haven't really replied or I've engaged with yet. So rinse and repeat that across these different types of tasks. The last one I wanted to highlight very quickly is this other task that's great for LinkedIn connections. You'll see that little LinkedIn icon is directly there. That's going to allow me to pop into their LinkedIn profile, quickly connect with them if I'm not, or send them an in-mail message. So in summary, those are our 3 pro tips for success using Engage that are really going to eliminate a couple of those pain points that we're all faced with as sales professionals. Number 1, automating prospecting. So I can set it and forget it and let those actions take place where they're automatically being put into sales flows. 2, I can use A/B testing, email assistance, preview my content across multiple devices to make sure it really looks good, sounds good, and the data proves that people are loving what I'm sending them. I'm getting more replies. I'm increasing my click-through rates. The 3rd tip was taking actions on those tasks, completing them, not letting them become overdue or overwhelming to you because they're going to be served up in a simple format. I can lump them together by type, calls, emails, and knock them out very quickly. We hope that this video was super helpful for you in utilizing Engage. Leave any comments, questions you have down below in the video. And we also appreciate you liking and subscribing if you found it beneficial. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching once again. Take care. Bye now.